Your father works very hard for his money, and you waste it all on records.
Okay, we're at the AXPONA show in Chicago. It's a big show. And this is Clear Audio's exhibition. So let's go through the turntables. I mean, we've covered these turntables before. It looks like they have some new, interesting models. Maybe I should get somebody from the company to run me through all of these, in case there's anything new. It looks like they've got a new, this looks like a new pivoted arm. We will find out. Let's just get a look at some of this stuff. So these are brand new audio research amplifiers. We're talking to Bob. And how do I pronounce your last name?
Saliga.
I got it right. Saliga. Okay.
Yeah. These are the new M series. They have not. This is their first audition, to the best of my knowledge.
Wow.
And these are prototypes that have been built. So a couple more final touches be coming, and they will be ready for sale.
And so there's 4 of those KT 90. What are those KT 90s?
I believe so.
So next time I piss you off, go hire a pinstripe gangster. Break my heart, words can break my heart, words can break my heart. Thank you.
This is a very big show.
Hello, Michael.
Hi there, Kevin. How are you?
Good.
I'm just taking in some local color here.
Is that it? Anthony?
That's
I am definitely
that is local color.
You've met Anthony before?
We
Yes.
live 10 minutes
Just
apart.
once or twice?
He's one of my best friends.
I know.
But by the way, I'm actually loco color.
That's
not
right.
local color. Yeah.
Local color. Now, if I touch, is this plugged in?
I
if I
will as
touch
soon as you
that,
get your
what's
finger
gonna
near
happen?
it.
What's gonna happen?
As soon as you get your finger near it, I'm going to plug it in.
Even though this is a new hotel, it seems to be, it's laid out in a way that you think you're at the old hotel that they used to run these shows in Chicago. Everything seems very, very similar. This is the least expensive Macintosh turntable. No, this is not the least expensive Macintosh turntable. This is one
So this is maybe a 5-year-old record, as opposed to
Full
some of the
House.
classic things we do.
How are you?
Brinkman Balance. This is the festive version of the St. James Infirmary. This is a Doshi preamp. That's the Doshi phono preamp.
Upcoming DCS receipt, SAC transport is not released yet.
Oh.
This is a preview. And then also, Another product debut is Nick Doshi's new stereo amplifier, which you're listening to as we speak. So it's a EL34 75 watt per channel stereo amplifier. It's
Last request. Tell my mama that I ate my bed. Tell my baby that I love her so.
This is a room that's run by Paragon Sight and Sound in Ann Arbor, Michigan. They have a big presence here at the show.
Ricardo Reyes has one here, too. I'm not sure.
And Mark came to my seminar. Okay, so now we're in the record fair and the connection fair side of things. So we're just going to take a quick walk through.
And you were in a seminar, so I couldn't. I was like, hey,
Hey there.
hey, Michael.
Soda, one of the survivors in this business, and they're still doing it.
Patents.
So Kristen, you're the new partner, the not silent partner.
I work in the background at Soda. I do design and developing products, and we're working on the new innovations in-house.
And you modified things to this turntable, which I reviewed last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago? And this is the Series 4 Moonbeam.
So essentially, we're going towards a more musical approach where all the materials I've ever worked with trombones and trumpets, we're trying to bring into our turntables, because everything has a resonance, as you know, and addressing that every turntable does have a sonic signature, and we're trying to capture ours. We moved away from the little feet that were previously used. We went to a brass out of 360 brass.
What were those feet? I forget what those feet were.
They were aluminum with a little elastomer on the bottom, for a better word of it.
So now you have
we went
brass?
to 360 brass under here into an insert, which is actually a knurled brass insert. On the underside of the turntable, we've moved to a new, I think it's 6061 or 2024 aluminum, which obviously holds better size than plastic, as everybody knows.
Yeah, especially on different temperatures.
Yes, and then you can hear the suction as we get out of here. We do a hand-lapped bearing cup now. Instead of sticking with the Tersite, which was there before, we went to the 360 brass. It's something I'm very familiar with, the tolerance. When we make a rotor on a trombone rotor, I know how to get good fittings and compressions. And I think that the tolerance is much improved. And we still have our standard stainless spindle on here, but it'll take a bit before we get down. But I think the resonance it's a little more rich in its approach now than it was before.
And what is the price? Prices?
This right here is at $12.50.
Is that the same price?
No, we've stepped up because
You've done a lot of things.
Yeah, and when we started offering the veneer is a lot of labor, and all of our labor is American, and so we can't give that away. We do have a black diamond turntable we'll be coming out with within 2 months. Out of a phenolic resin material, and that without the veneer, we're going to be able to offer that at hopefully about a $750
What's the platter
price
on
point.
this again? I forget.
This is it's an acrylic platter. Right now.
$12.50. This is a good price point.
Well, for an American-made table, I think so.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, this is more audio. They brought this huge record collection from someplace or other, and now they brought it. I'm just going to thumb through here for you to see some of the stuff. See if there's anything that I need to buy. I don't need to buy any records. Well, that's probably good. These are all good. These New Worlds. These New Worlds. These are all the engineers on here. You got Stan Tunkel, and you got Lee Hulker with Sterling Sound doing the mastering. This is an early one because after Lee left, then Bob Lubbock did a lot of their mastering for those things. You know, if I didn't have a big record collection, these Das Alto works are fantastic. This is $17. course, these are good too. The Bach Guild. Look, they're in alphabetical order too, so if you're looking for something in the B category, you got it. There's a lot of great records here. That's
Jazz is beyond the turntable. Jazz is all beyond the turntable.
Anyway, this is the classical section. You know, the golden imports, they're not so great. They are not so great, I'm sorry to tell you. Anyway, I don't need any record. I need to get rid of... Thank you. I try to make it fun. If it's not fun, it's just deadly. Deadly. I'm now going to show you a turntable. And now going to... Here's how I would do... Thank you. You know, if you're into classical music, it looks like you could come here and you could get a fantastic collection of records, of good records, for not that much money. I mean, reasonable prices. I'm just gonna, I have to keep moving, I can't. I would love to go buy a few records, but I can't. This guy just bought a record. You can get, you know, you can stream all this music. You don't have to pay for it. You can stream it. Why would you buy a record?
Because it's vinyl.
I know.
That's where it starts from. I knew that's what you were looking for. I thought maybe you were filming me and you wanted to get
I'm filming you, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just playing with your head a little bit. What did you buy?
You got these two winners right there.
Oh, that's great. I know. I have that. CTIs are amazing. Well, the bunch of them were like they were $1 a piece 10 years ago. Now they're 20.
Now they're 20. That's right. Yeah.
You want a bag for these guys?
Oh yeah, please.
Let's see what they're doing in the jazz section. It's great vinyl. It's not just good vinyl. Let's see if there's anything really top shelf stuff here. It's a lot of Duke records. You know, ECMs. Bet you that's good. Oh, this is a great record.
It's
You know this
amazing
record?
record.
This is an amazing.
It's psychedelic.
I have almost all of his, but
This one is
is it really good?
It's very unusual. There's a lot of it's like sound effects and music concrete and then it flowers. This is a late night record that you put on in wonderment. I don't know.
What condition it's in.
Condition? I don't know what condition I'm in right now, but I'm telling you, it's a very unusual record of Pat Metheny's, but it's a great one. I think it's one of my favorite.
You've answered some questions for me by email, by the way, so thank you.
Were they the right answers? You don't know.
Good to me.
Okay, that's good. Really, you like that record.
Really, really nice.
Make sure it's in good
I
shape.
have one here. Great record, right?
That is a great record. Is it?
Amazing record.
Look, the sleeve alone is worth $1. Let's see. This is the American pressing. Let's see who mastered it.
That's
I may drop it. I may drop it. Hold this camera.
Yeah, I got it.
Show the record. Let's see if we can see.
Yeah, you'd have to look very carefully.
Very carefully.
Bring up the software.
Oh, master disc.
It's
by-
great, probably, right?
Bob Ludwig. Okay, so Bob Ludwig mastered this at Master Disc. You cannot go wrong with that record. I can't vouch for the pressing
I
quality.
have to turn off.
Yeah, I clean it.
Turn
Got
off
some of these scratches out here.
Is that a scratch or is it a?
I'm looking more like right here. There's 3 in a row.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I see those.
I have it on the Hudson.
You know what? I bet you won't hear those.
I can help you.
I bet you won't.
Surface.
Turn it off because no, it's a.
How much do they want for it? 17?
No, 12 it looks
12.
like.
So
Offer them 10. Offer them $10. See if they'll take it. Tell them I told you should buy it.
Well, if you told me, then that sounds good.
Right, see if you get 10. If for 12, it's worth it. Anyway, it's a really good record. This is news that we're going to bring to you, that Nitty Gritty is back. It went away for a while, which was a shame. Why would a company like this be away? Well, there was an issue with the woman who owned it, but she has sold the company to
Kevin.
Kevin, that's right,
Yes,
to
sir.
Kevin, that's right. So Kevin owns the company now, and you are manufacturing these in America.
Yes, sir.
Made in the USA.
Everything made in the USA.
We're in America.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
It's made in Atlanta, Georgia now, okay.
And distributed exclusively through Elusive Disc worldwide.
And the prices are not peanuts because they're from Atlanta. Okay, that was a joke. And you say, let's see, the Record Master 1, that's manual fluid, manual brushing, manual rotation. Okay, so that's the bottom of the line.
Well, the original one, which is not showing it, it's below that
Yeah,
one, but
there's
that's
one below
this one's
that.
special.
Okay,
for the,
so what does that one cost? What will that cost people?
This one, I think they're $600.
Okay, you better not think it. You better know it.
Yeah,
watch
I didn't know I
this
had
video,
to. I didn't know I had to.
and
yeah.
they will hold you to that price. If it's-
That's right. That's
and
right.
I was watching the video that Fremer put up. He said $600, and I went to buy one, and it was $613. What a ripoff!
Well, hopefully they're actually 500, and then it'll be good.
Right. And the Mini
Yeah.
Pro 2, is that the one right above of it?
No, the one right above is this one.
And you put that below into the side in the picture because
Design.
who knows?
Yeah.
Some designer who knows nothing about the subject put this together for. All right, so I'll say this: go to the ED website,
Right.
which
Yeah,
does
that'd
not
be
stand for
Yes,
erectile dysfunction.
yeah, exactly. Not yet.
There is a website for that too, but
Yeah,
that's
there
not.
is.
This is not it. And your prices will be posted. But we're all happy to see this company back in business.
Yes, sir.
And I hope you do. Everybody is solid because it's got a long history, and we're happy about that. And there's
And-
the accessories.
And Kevin does have a press release for you.
So I was just telling the gentleman, this is our top of the line. We've asked some of our customers saying, can we downsize? We need something smaller than your giant amps. What this preamplifier does is it allows you to use 5 different tubes, the 6SN7, or over here the 6CG, the 12BH, the 12AT, or the ECC85. You tell it which tube you're using. It will change the circuitry for that tube.
Wow.
Then you tell it how rich or how lean you wish. You got 4 settings, so 4 settings and spines with 20 different settings. We can run it out, the RCA out the back, you can run out the headphones out the front. It does come with a buffer module that, with the 20 volts and the buffer module, which is a Class A buffer, will give you 25 watts into a speaker. And that's a separate additional charge.
Wow.
Stainless steel, made in Oklahoma. This here is our integrated Class A amplifier. What we've done is we've taken our DAC module, we've given ourselves a Class A buffer, so just like Krell and Boulder are doing, it's running all the time.
Right.
It will put out 6.5 watts into a speaker, or obviously drop a headphone. All these are using the same module for the DAC, it's just shielded. This one also comes with a phono module, which is actually this guy here. So this is going to replace the one you have.
Wow.
Because we wanted to build a salesman sample, and somebody says, hey, what does the phono model sound like? Well, let's put it in a box. And we liked it so much that we said, hey, maybe that's the one we should produce. So what's it like with a turntable? I got a VPI turntable here, a Job Brycroft. How's it look in my system? How's it look in my world with a turntable, with a computer, with a file?
Now, how much does this cost?
This is going to run $8,100, and that includes we deliver and it's built to order. You choose the colors, you choose you want a stepped attenuator, you want a variable attenuator, what's your modules? That's what this is.
Wow.
This is running right at $3,300.
Right.
It's pretty much the way it's going to look. This is part of the White Swan line.
Right. Beautiful.
And this one here is running right at $2,600 with the power supply. And on all these, if you look, they all have a lighted swan.
Right.
The lighted swan is changeable. You can change the colors. This one here, the lighted swan on it starts out in a different color than the run color. So as it's slowly starting up, and you first power it up, and those heaters and high voltages come in, it's going to be one color.
Right.
Then when it's fully started up, it's going to come to whatever color that you set using these little pots that you set here. And you change the color. It's, you want purple like I got, you want blue, you want green.
When you play Prince music.
You got it.
Hello, Mike.
But then
Hey there.
when you just pull the mic out
You having a
and
good
you just
time?
use it as a multimedia headphone, it's still cool to listen to because you can just toggle between high res 7.1 and 5.1.
Michael, how you doing?
This is my little friend here.
We've changed to hand crank drive, Michael.
Oh.
That's the future.
Hand crank.
Yeah.
Well, there are all a bunch of cranks in this business.
Oh yeah, that's.
What turntable
It's the
is
little
that?
big one. It's for Godzilla.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He couldn't pay up, so we sent it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there you have
There
it.
it goes.
All right, well, I got your records for you.
What do you got?
All right. Now, I will.
I saw that the Belafonte box at Music Direct last night. That is beautiful, beautiful.
We're selling more of the Belafonte 45 box.
Yeah, that's what I saw last night.
You know, it's like the tape box. We're selling more of this one at 150 than we did as of the 33. Now I'm trying to figure out, is it because it's got the 2 bonus songs that were never released?
I know about one bonus song. What's the first?
The other one's that overture.
Oh, at the beginning. So
Right.
It's got Scarlet Ribbons, you play that for people when they hear on the back of their neck stands up.
And it was on the reel. Sony never put it out. RCA never put it out.
Why?
I don't know that they didn't know they had it, I don't think. Maybe the original didn't have space.
Yeah, that's
So why are we selling more of the 45 than the 33? So we got the 2 bonus songs, and then it's got that real deluxe.
Yeah.
And I think in Hong Kong they're telling me it's like once the customer sees that and holds it, man, it's just. This is a test pressing. This is a UHQR test pressing clarity.
Wow.
Of the Hendrix.
Ooh.
But just feel it. Let me just hold it.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Fine built, manual.
And the tape was in good shape?
Yeah, oh yeah. So good.
Yeah, that's exciting. And is that pre-sold?
We sold out the 1,500 monos, boom.
Right.
And out of the 5,000 stereo, about 3,600 are sold.
Wow.
Now, we're selling like 40 a month, and so 1,400 records at 40, it's not going to be long, but we'll probably be sold out before we make the first one.
And that's Access Boulders left
Right.
in mono and stereo. Right.
So that's the first UHQR.
Cool.
Now I have some things though I don't want you to, I'm going to give them to you, but I don't want you to put on there.
Okay.
That was 15 amps. Yep. What'd you think? Did you get a chance to listen?
These are Chad's tape titles.
I'd be happy to, spool it on there.
Okay, let's keep moving and see what else we see down here. Oh. Did they cut these from digital source, or did they go back to the tape?
We always go back to the tape.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Steve Wagner.
Hi, Steve.
Hi. I've been managing Delmark for 30 years now.
Oh, really?
Still work with Bob Kester, who's 85 years young now.
Good for him.
We're celebrating our 65th anniversary. And on June 8th at the Chicago Blues Festival, the city is doing a tribute to Bob and the label.
That's fantastic.
At Millennium Park, Pritzker Pavilion. We're very excited.
That's fantastic. And this music will endure, this is... So that you do this from tape, and who does the cutting for you?
Right now we're using a guy by the name of Carl Saff. He's here in town in Chicago.
Oh, cool.
And it's called Saff Master.
Okay.
And then we do the plating through the pressing plant. Right now we're using QRP.
Right, Chad's place.
Or RTI.
Two of the best pressing plants.
Yeah, those are the only two.
So these are. So everybody should know, because they were always interested. This is a new band, but they probably didn't record this to tape, did they?
No.
No. So that's.
But they're the band playing at the show tomorrow night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But we still have all of our analog machines, and we're getting them back up to speed now.
Yeah.
We also have a lot of classic gear. Our studio was built by Paul Serrano, who's a famous Chicago engineer who passed away a couple years ago, and it was designed by him and Malcolm Chisholm.
Wow.
And Paul had a studio in the 60s and 70s called PS Studio. And at that time, in the early 70s, Chess, which had sold out to GRT,
Right.
they started dumping some of the gear.
Yeah.
And he bought a lot of it. And so now we have a lot of equipment that came out of Chess Studio. We have the original Hammond B3 organ and Leslie speaker that came out of Chess Studio.
Wow.
We have a Scully 1-inch 8-track machine from the late 60s that came out of Chess Studio.
Wow.
We have a mono head Ampex 350 that came out of Chess Studio, which was on loan to the Experience Museum.
Wow.
And we received it back, and we're having it recapped, and we're going to start to use it again.
Excellent. I love hearing that news.
And we could even remaster our original mono tapes on a mono head machine,
Right.
which we're very
That's the way to
excited
do
about.
it. That's the way to do it.
And we also have a couple RCA ribbon microphones that came out of Chess, and we also have some nice Pultec tube equalizers that came out of Chess.
Those are worth a fortune.
Those are over 3,000 a piece at these
At
points.
least.
At least.
Yeah, this is an old one too, right?
Oh yeah, that's a classic from 1967.
And so that's also from
Original tape.
maybe
yeah,
maybe
analog
you should
tape.
license some of these so Chad can put them out on tape.
They tried to, but you know what? We're doing our own tape-to-tape copies.
Oh.
Yes, we are. We're already.
Why
now,
not?
Yes,
Why not?
Exactly.
I've got the original of this too. And this is from tape.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not out yet. I'm doing a pre-sale. It's a limited edition of 1,000 copies.
And that's not going to be that's going to be recorded to Pro Tools, I'm sure, but that's
Yes,
fine.
It's correct.
And so how'd it come out?
I thought it came out great.
Great, yeah. All right, can you take credit cards?
Yeah,
Then I'll buy one and you send it to me. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
You
that.
can either take the jacket with you now, or I'll ship it with the present. Either way.
Why don't you ship it with the press?
Let's do that, sure.
Stuff. Let's do that. I like to support this kind of stuff. Really do. There he is.
Pulling it out, Michael.
He's still
we have new spacer discs. Look at that beautiful thing.
Wow.
Right there.
And you can use them as coasters?
Seals the label. Has 3 purposes. It also works as wireless headphones.
Right.
Hockey pucks.
Coasters.
Right. And spacers. Waterproof. So that's an upgrade that people are loving.
What were you using before?
We had a solid disc,
right.
And you had to be more careful.
Everything else is good. You're still selling.
Everything is good. We haven't raised our prices.
Good.
And our customers are giving us feedback from as far away as, I guess, Colorado. They're coming in to see this.
They're smoking and toking, and then they're cleaning.
And you get, we have a special deal in Colorado.
I'm sure you do.
You get extra things.
From a special dealer. Okay. Thank you, David. Thank you. Hello there. Hi, you guys. How are you? What's going on?
Analog.
And this is a Roxanne turntable?
Nope, that's Verter.
This is Tourage's turntable?
Yep. That's
Yes?
a Verter MG1.
Say that again?
Verter MG1.
MG1. So I really put my foot in my mouth, didn't I? By saying it was Roxanne. But it's related.
Well, but it's same Tourage.
Yeah, same Tourage. And what does this cost?
$13,900.
$13,900. And the platter
This
is
a
of
rolled carbon fiber arm.
And the platter is of aluminum? Aluminium?
Yep. Platter's aluminum.
Oh, beautiful.
2-piece.
Beautifully.
Uses the mass on the outside to get the flywheel effect.
Right.
The spindle, you can level the spindle here, as well as level the sub-plinth and the base of the table.
Cool.
And then we're using the rubber dampeners, which Tourage has used before. And then the motor is on a suspension as well. It's a synchronous motor, so when it turns on, it's going to come up at the correct speed.
Right.
So there has to be something that can give a little bit in the system.
Okay. It's $13,900, did you say it was?
Yes.
With the arm?
With the arm and the outboard power supply.
And this is called?
It's the whole kit. This is the MG1.
Vertre MG1.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
And this is his phono preamp?
This is his phono preamp. Phono 1, which has lots and lots of different settings.
Right, and you got to catch that in the right light or you can't read it, but that's okay. And this is designed in the UK and made in the UK, or designed in the UK and made?
Made in the UK.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, so you have lots of different gain settings. lots of different loading settings and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, and then we slide over here and we have the Torrens. I got that box. I got one of those boxes from years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything's good in Torrens then with Heinz?
Blue clamps. Not just chrome like last year. We now have blue too.
Bluetooth? It's a Bluetooth? A Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Bluetooth. I say if it's a Bluetooth record wave.
That would be
put
good.
that on the record, and the music will transmit it through the air to your receiving device.
And of course the fully automatic
Of course,
table.
I use that all the time.
Has the smart tractor setup.
Yep.
Kit.
I use it all the time. It's a very, very useful device.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
See you in Munich.
Oh, tell me about this. My readers are asking me about this.
Yep.
And I know nothing about it.
Software for setting up tables.
Show me how this works, because if you'd like this reviewed, I would like to review it at some point. Because they're asking about it. And
So the key is the USB here, but when you get it, if you go to home, it will tell you up on top basically about it, and you can scroll down.
Right.
And read
so
about
first you have to use an overhang alignment tool. So
yeah, so you mechanically have to set yourself up correctly.
Right.
And then what you would do is use a phono preamp or something that has a USB in it.
Right.
And
so this is an oscilloscope built into it.
Kind of, yeah. So where I usually start is I start with like VTA.
Okay, and how does it?
And what you'll do is you'll scroll down and it'll tell you which track to run on the LP. So
it's an LP that he provides.
LP is in the box.
And is it his own LP?
Yes, it's his own with all attached. So this would give us the intermodulation distortion.
Right.
And if you run this, like I ran one day and we were about 6.8% instead of like under 2% or 1%.
Right.
So now the question is, okay, why? Did I get the cartridge in the head shell crooked, or is it something else? I went down to the...
Well, IM distortion should basically be caused by vertical modulations being incorrectly deciphered.
Could be, yep, but I went down to the anti-skating, and what I found was my anti-skating, the distortion was quite high, and when I adjusted my anti-skating and I got down to 0.7, now when I went back down to VTA, my VTA number was averaging much less.
Right, because
they're all related.
Right, you're not tugging on one side or the other.
And then when I go to looking at the the tracking, tracking force, I can also look at tracking force.
Right.
And tracking force gives me two grooves, one for the high frequencies, one for the low frequencies. And we want to get both of them as low as possible as far as distortion. But as you know, once you adjust the tracking force, you're changing the suspension of the cartridge.
You got to go back to everything.
And now you go back to do VTA again.
That's right.
So what this does is it allows us, because what I find is we're very good at hearing one thing.
Right.
But we don't hear what we messed up. We heard what we listened for.
Right.
And on this, what it does is, because I'm recording all my settings, when I make a change and I go back, I can see whether I've altered something else positively or negatively.
Now, as far as crosstalk goes, how does it?
So
it shows you the actual numbers for azimuth. It shows you.
Yep. And you do left and right channels individually.
Right.
And you can see again, it's giving you the instructions.
Yep.
There's 4 discs. There's 2 for 33s and 2 for 45. So that you can do the crosstalk. Here was interesting one day too, because I had a cartridge that was like 36 on one channel and 22 on the other.
Yeah, you could get that, but that's not. You better have having less. You better have having less separation, but more even separation.
Right. So exactly right. So what happened there was once I got done working it over, I think I came out at like 30.6 and 30.8.
That's great.
Yeah, which
that,
I looked at it and I thought, well,
that's better than you know.
I was at 36 on one channel, but I realized that it's not.
If you can get it within 2 dB, if you're doing
Yeah.
So you get
So-
that close. It's a good, well-designed cartridge. Now,
Yeah.
what does this software cost?
Software is $700.
So the box is $700.
Yeah, comes with the disc, comes with the USB memory stick, and
Oh, it comes with a mic, but not a.
The
you
US
don't need a microscope because you're doing this with
Right.
measurements.
You're doing this with measurements, and if you're using if you're using the phono card with the USB input, then you can also adjust the gain from your phono
Right.
stage. So then you would be bringing that into the cartridge, and you can adjust loading and everything. And you should look at this sometime. This is Acoustical Systems Dietrich's Fidelis cartridge. These are $11.99. Then you'll notice this has a little higher output voltage, 0.6 millivolts.
Right. Wow.
So anybody that has a tube phono stage or lower quality phono stage that is a little more noisy.
So moving magnet.
Yeah.
With a high output.
Yep. And it's, of course, the titanium body, just like he always does. But yeah, this is a great cartridge at $11.99.
Okay, so once again, how many years ago did we interview?
It was like 2 years ago?
That's
3
all.
years?
It feels like 5 or 8.
Yeah, time flies.
I think it's more than 2, but let's say it was 2. So these are the U-turn guys. Their parents disowned them after they said they were gonna, after graduating college, they were going to open a turntable company. And now, so are you guys Zuckerberging? Are you Zuckerberging your like sales, so you know who buys your turntables and how old they are and where they're from?
Yeah, when you buy a turntable from us, we get all your data.
Of course you do, all of it. You know all your friends. I know you don't do that, but do you keep tabs on like what the age? Like,
Yeah. I mean, we're selling to, 20 and 30 something dudes. Like guys like us.
Gotta get some ladies into this.
Yeah, we're trying, and we've been doing a little bit of a better job recently. But it's not that girls aren't listening to vinyl. It's just that they choose different products, and we got to figure out how to appeal to them a little better.
There's definitely girls are into this. I know that. I hear from them, and I see them. You go to used record stores or record store day. A lot of gals are buying records. I know that for a fact. Yeah, you got to hit those ladies.
Yeah.
So you've changed certain things since first.
Yeah, we got a new tone arm, right?
Yeah, a new
So show me what's going on.
So now we used to have our gimbal tone arm, our uni pivot tone arm. Now we have a gimbal tone arm. In fact, a few things have been redesigned. It has built-in anti-skate, so there's a spring-based anti-skate in there. There's a new.
Is adjustable or not adjustable?
It's not adjustable.
So it's set for like 2 grams.
Yeah, it's optimized for about 1.75.
It's all a
grams.
compromise anyway.
Yeah.
For various reasons. So that's actually pretty smart.
The way I thought about it was, a lot of people are going to adjust it wrong anyway, so you might as well get it pretty much correct for everyone instead of having some people who it's way off. And
It
other
changes
people
by
get it right.
vinyl formulation. Depends what record you play. Depends how heavily it's modulated. Depends where on the record you want to measure. So it's never going to be.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
That's an upgrade. We redesigned the counterweight. Now it aligns itself vertically, and then
It works with a wider range of cartridges now.
geometry is a little bit different. So now it works with all the 3 major geometries instead of just Stevenson.
Excellent.
Yep.
The Stevenson's the worst one actually. It's for, if you look at the distortion characteristics of Stevenson, it works the best at the end of the record for classical music.
Yep.
How many of your customers are playing a lot of classical music? So you want to have less distortion over most of the record and let it increase at the end. And you don't hear that distortion anyways. Baloney. So so are you making this arm yourself?
Yep. So we're hand assembling the arm in our Boston workshop. And same as before, a lot of these parts are made in the U.S. Our injection molder is
And the
out in
platter, this
Wisconsin.
platter looks like it's aluminum?
That's our acrylic platter.
That's acrylic. So what
Feedback received on acrylic platters, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. At this price point, fine. That's what I said.
Yeah, it's a good value. For this table, it's a good.
And you have a glass platter also?
That's the acrylic. So it's a transparent acrylic.
But I did say at the lower price points, it's fine, right? And I didn't even know you were there, and I would have said it anyway because that's what I really do. But when you get to $5,000 to $6,000, I don't want to see a big thick acrylic platter this time. And have you changed your pulley at all?
This is all pretty much the same. We changed up our supplier for the pulley. It's we actually go to a supplier that specializes in pulley manufacturing, and so it's great wound and flutter performance, good speed stability.
And the price stayed
still the same price. Yep.
That's
stayed the same.
In fact, our Orbit Basic over here is still $179.
And that one has the new arm. So So for $179 you get.
It's $199 shipped, so $20 for shipping.
Okay.
Yep.
That you're entitled to. And the fact of the matter is, you're not ripping off the U.S. government. You're not doing what Trump says Amazon is doing and ripping.
It's true. Although with his new tariffs, our stainless steel and aluminum might go up a little bit.
Yeah, could be. We have a tariff on it. So it's stainless steel and aluminum. That's cool.
Yep.
So this is $200.
Yep.
With the budget Audio Technica cartridge, which is a pretty good cartridge.
It's a pretty good cartridge.
Yep. They don't make stupid stuff.
Another big change is our Orbit Special over here, which has our solid hardwood plank.
This one.
So we actually decided not to use veneer, and this is, you can see from the side,
Wow.
grain. That's all hardwood lumber there, all sourced from the U.S.
So the price goes up considerably because you're sporting wood here.
So it's wood. You got the 2M red on there. Has our Q lever.
Oh yeah. Okay. So it's up. It's got a bunch of upgrades. Yep. So the least expensive has no Q lever, so it's manual queuing.
Very basic.
And that's good. You know, the young people should learn how to lift a stylus up. I'm advanced in age. I can still lift it up, no problem. So, but I see the kids when they're first trying.
We introduced it without the Q lever at first, and then just popular demand forced us to do the Q lever. So it's fully like retrofittable.
It is, okay. So
you
could
buy it later and install it on there.
Oh, cool. Okay. So this is up to $479.
Yep. Like all our tables, you can get our Pluto phono preamp built right in for an extra $70.
Right. And that's a great phono preamp. You know, we put it up to the people to listen to. That was key, right? I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah.
You beat some of the people that have been in this business for like 30 or 40 years. Is what you did.
That's what we're
trying. And it wasn't even close. Yeah. I mean, that number was zoomed up there.
I was pretty nervous at the time before you revealed who was who there.
Yeah, we didn't know who was who until you released the results.
Of course you didn't. Why wouldn't I tell you? I wouldn't tell you.
That's
right. I knew who it was. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm seeing as it's going, and I'm going, I know two guys that are going to be really happy when they see what that looks like. Yeah, that's a terrific little piece. Okay, well that's great. Great seeing you here. And continued good luck and success. And I don't think vinyl's going away. I think it's here now. I think we're all very happy about that. So someday you could be a mogul like Chad. Chad owns the universe now. You know, he'll chip off a little piece and give it to you, maybe. So.
One turntable at a time.
That's right. Okay, guys, have a good show. Bye-bye. Okay, so if you're in the area, in the Chicago area, 31st Annual 2018 Midwest Classical Record Show. Saturday, May 19th, 2018. It's like, in New Jersey, they always say this, Peter Max Art will be at the Willowbrook Mall in New Jersey on, we will sell Hosierai from Peter Max, awful looking, psychedelic, but no, this is records. Holiday in North Shore in Skokie, Illinois. And here, I'm going to put this up. You can freeze frame the video if you're interested. And certainly, if I was in the neighborhood, I would be going there. Because these men here run this show. What they do is they go to little old ladies' houses and they tell them, your records are worth $0.25 apiece. And they get the collectible records, and then they price them at $50 and $100, and they make a living. And God bless them for that.
No, I keep them.
You keep them, right? That's the other problem. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, so we are at the Ultrasonic booth here at the show, and I had seen this product on Amazon because one of the readers sent me a link to it, and I sent this gentleman here an email about it, and here he is at the show. So show us that this is another record cleaning machine, ultrasonic record cleaning machine. It looks different than some of the other ones.
Right, like we have a pair of the two models here, the sister models, so the layout is different.
Right.
This one, the control panel is on the top with a touch sensing control. This one, control panel is in the front. We think this one, the layout actually is friendlier for people doing the mounting and dismounting.
Yes. Also, it actually takes up less space.
Yeah, a little bit.
The price the same?
Price the same.
What is it?
Right now at the show, we have the show special for $630.
Okay.
Yeah, but our regular price is like close to $800.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Still, you know, and for what?
Compared to like a $4,000 unit,
right.
This is like a really bottom price.
You put only water in there, or can you put a surfactant or anything?
Yeah. Right now it's just water, but if you have a fingerprints, some like oily stuff on the records, so you have to use some like a solution. Otherwise, water does not separate the oil very well.
I agree 100% on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now there's no drying function on this.
It's no drying function, but it's easy to dry. We use like a Kim wipe. That's like a lab grade like a wipe. Doesn't have like a fibrous residue, so you can clean it. I'll show you. This is wet. I can clean it. Nothing left. There's no fiber or anything on the record.
Okay. So you buy a box of special tissues, Kim wipes, and you can clean up to how many at a time?
5 at a time. Has like a gasket.
Right.
So seal off the label area, so you're not gonna get any water onto the label.
Whether you're dealing with a machine that's $10,000, $5,000, we all work the same.
Yeah.
We just cavitate water, and the water then creates micro bubbles,
Yes.
and then hits the record. What we have here is we can simultaneously wash two 33s, a 45, and a 78, including a shellac.
I like that.
And the shellac is because we also use a low frequency of 35 kilohertz, so we are a bit different. Everyone else is 40 to 80, and anything over 80 you just can't use. It's not worth it because it's made for medical instruments. So when this guy goes in here, we just start the machine. Timer starts for 5 minutes. Now I set it for 7. And all I do is I slip the record in, and you'll notice the record goes in and it's at the proper height, and it cleans the proper grooves. The machines with skewers, that's a joke, because they will not clean the record's grooves properly. Neither can you mix and match sizes. 45, here, let's take here, I'm going to slip in a 45, so I'm not going to ruin the labels, I'm not going to ruin also the center points. So there's no skewering.
That's cool.
We also have this as a whole complete system where we have the UL, CUSA, CE safety requirements.
And so this machine sells in America for how much?
Yep, list price is $800.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yep, and you know, why should we add another $2,000 or another $1,000? It's not fair. We have new kids coming into the business.
But you got to dry it
They
by
love
hand.
it. Yeah, just take it out by hand. What we do is we use a microfiber cloth on both sides. Then afterwards we just use our felt. And once we're finished with the felt, we then apply an antifungal agent when this is on the turntable that brings the antifungal agent all the way across. So we do a polish, and then you either play the record or you then put it in your sleeve.
Will that work on my toes?
Unfortunately I tried mine and it still hasn't fixed it, so unfortunately not. We had some people bring in some records that had severe fungus this morning, and we were able to prove that what we show does work.
Would you clean one for me?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I cleaned it once before on a competing machine, not at this show. You know this record?
No. Play the gun theme. Yeah.
This. I have a second pressing of this. This was mastered on April 18th, 1959.
Okay.
This is a Bill Putnam recording at United in Los Angeles.
Whether we have one technology or the other, we'll do the same. So here for our machine, we've set for 5 minutes.
Okay.
And we just drop in the record.
Okay.
And now the record will do its 5-minute cycle. Because we saw areas where we have fungus that is there, we're actually then going to use a mix that we have, which is 99% water, 1% propol, and we will use this as a surfactant.
Right.
And what this will do, it will then allow the water cavitation and the bubbles to burst at a higher rate.
Right.
So we're going to apply this after the first 5 minutes.
Do you have a background in this, or you can't do it?
I'm a nerd for life. I've been an audiophile since I was 9 years old. I did this because I have the financial opportunity to underwrite the price of this. I have another business on the technology side.
Oh, good.
So everyone deserves an $800 washer.
I agree. I like that.
Started to remove some of the grease, but we haven't removed some of the fungus. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the surfactant on here. So basically it's just to brush it in, and this goes into the wash, and it's really not affecting the wash, but it is affecting the adhesion of the cavitation of the bubbles.
Okay. Now it looks like there's little foam strips between the slits?
Yeah, that's just to keep the record so it doesn't go back and forth, because we have varying sizes, 180-gram records versus the ordinary ones.
Does that carry any of the dirt?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
And does that have to be changed every so often? Because
we have a kit that you can change it, and you can change it, once a year or whatever. That's all. Yeah.
I have to ask these questions.
Oh no, absolutely. You know your stuff. You've done very well.
Yes, I hope I know my stuff.
So
I don't know my stuff.
So we had a very severely used record this morning, and we did it 3 times, and then afterwards we found the manufacturing defects and blemishes of a record that was made back in '60. No, you can't. Not unless you're from Mars and you have a little man.
Can you give the record a facelift?
No.
Boob job?
No. Fortunately, no. Maybe next model.
Maybe it's a female singer.
Maybe next model. Well, there you go.
Cost $4,000.
Yeah, there. No, even a 4,000 machine can't do that. We're all limited. We're all the same in the industry. So the only thing that we've done that's different is the way that we handle the record so we don't damage it. And by having the low frequency, we can do the shellac record that you can see over there, which is from a live broadcast from the oldest radio station in America, KDKA. We've donated one of our machines to resurrect the records.
So you can do two 12-inch records,
yep, two
one 10-inch and one 7-inch.
Correct, that's correct.
That's good.
Now, some people say I can do 10 at a time. You can't do that with a machine, because if you bring the records closer, you are now going to have a standing wave that's going to be generated, just like an RF, and your cavitation bubbles will not make it to this area here, which is the top of the record. It's just someone saying that.
Dreaming.
Well, what we do is we take a look. Here's an Elton John record that we restored. It was an original good plus,
right,
and it became a very good plus after 4 cycles with the machine. So 3 times with the surfactant and 1 time the original just with the ultrasonic. And this is what the difference is. This is what it looked before, and this is what it looked afterwards.
Wow.
Before and after.
Wow.
And that's all. And what we had inside was cigarette smoke. We had mold and mildew.
Yep.
So we have about 3 minutes left of the machine here, and basically the first cycle, and we'll see how well we were able to remove some of the
you can see there was stuff on the surface there.
Yep, the fungus. Let's do this here, where we've now already have improved the record just by using one surfactant.
And this went through another brand cavitation machine last night. Yes, it did. I'm not going to mention any names.
Yeah, look at that. Okay.
It already went through another.
Yeah, it already went through a machine, and now we have a remark change between that machine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. Since this is very abused, I'm going to do.
How dare you call my record abused?
There we go. Okay, I am now.
And they have a special attaché case for records.
There we go. So what I'm now going to actually do is I am going to work this in.
And that is an antifungal?
Yeah, it's the antifungal.
And what is it?
It's basically propyl and water. Okay. Period. That's all it is. And I'm going to work this in.
Alcohol?
It's a propane base. It's propane-2.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you sell these?
It comes with the system.
You buy it separately?
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. Wow. Yeah, one $9 bottle lasts you like for 300 records. So. The reason why I'm doing this is I'm working this in, also in the grooves, and you see this white? That's actually where the ultrasonic now is actually removed that grime that you had, that fungus is actually now come to the surface. Okay, so now we're going to put it in the machine.
Thank you. I'll hold that for the rest of the show. I don't blame you.
There we go, and we're going to let it go one last time.
Okay.
95 degrees is what Sony recommends for the old plastics and the new plastic. 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Now temperature is generated by 2 things. We have a heater in here, but also what we do is we also have the cavitation effect by the ultrasonic itself also generates heat. And that's very dangerous where people don't have the high limit and they say, oh, we can do it at 104 degrees, we can do it at 110 degrees. That will then warp your record. And that's the last thing we want. And warping the record is not warping it like this. It's actually changing in the diameter your grooves and how they were made. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. It's the last thing you want. So anything that's over 95 degrees is not recommended.
You're doing about 35C.
You know what? I think 35C. I think that because I did the data sheet. I think it's 35C. Not more than that.
I have an ultrasonic. That's what I keep it under, is 35.
Yeah.
How long do you do? How long is your cycle?
My cycle is for a brand new record. It's only 5 minutes. As for what we're doing here, this will be a 15-minute cycle. 3 cycles of 5 minutes. And again, this record
you really love. Otherwise, you're wasting your life.
This record took 6 cycles. But you take a look at that. Here, I'm just gonna brush off a bit of the dust here. Look how clean that is. And that was this one here. It was totally brown.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was stored and got waterlogged in an actual flood.
Yeah.
Wow. Ultrasonics do a lot better than, like, I've had a BPI for like 20 years.
Yeah, this is a completely different. Once you use something like this.
I started with a spin lock.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, sure.
Good place to start. That's right. Well, you move
absolutely. Absolutely.
Now we gotta go up. But it's nice when I go.
Rob. Hey, Mr. Fremer.
I don't see any DVDs here.
Well, that can't be. Who's the smart? Who's the smartest dealer in town?
Yeah, that's right. God bless you. Yes. Whose turntable is Zafino?
These are theirs.
How you doing?
Hi there.
Where are you from?
I'm from AnalogPlanet and Stereophile.
Oh, Stereo. Michael Fremer.
Yeah,
of course.
Wow. So show me what
Michael Fremer. Wow. Well, okay,
I've
I'll give you some rundown. We're new. We're out of Nova Scotia.
Okay.
These are hand painted. They're like pinstripe, like a car.
Right.
So everyone's a little bit different. You could look similar, but when the guy lays, the lines are all a little bit custom. Platters, aluminum, bearings, steel.
Show me is that your Kuzma arm in there? Is that what you have in there?
This is our own arm here.
Oh, that fits in that same mount?
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's cool.
So,
and this is made in Nova Scotia?
Yeah, we make a lot of parts in Nova Scotia. Of course, I gotta get some stuff overseas and stuff for the speed control or whatever.
This AC synchronous motor?
Yeah, this is 12 volt.
Okay.
12 volt, and there's a speed controller there. We supply it with a digital tach. So more or less when you set it up, once you dial it in, you just leave it. Later on, a year from now, if you want to check the belt tension.
And so, like, what does a table like this cost? This is a Zafino. What model?
This is a ZV8.
Right. Same platter as that, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 298. This is a 302 platter.
How much does that cost? How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing the cables to parts. I've been supplying the Europe and stuff for the internal wire, like the lits and all that.
Oh.
For 10 years.
With the turntable, I mean.
Turntables, maybe 4 years now.
Okay. Okay, so give me some idea about the prices.
Okay, so right now we retail this for $5,000, including the carbon arm, the independent motor, and the speed control.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's the Zafino 1877.
This is we call the ZV5.
ZV5.
And these are the custom painted ones.
Right.
So there's a couple of different colors or whatever, but.
And this is the copper
head.
And what do those copper discs do that are down there?
We're breaking up the resonance in the plinth.
Oh.
So we also can supply it with a Teflon or a POM.
Okay.
So.
And what does that table cost?
That one's with the aluminum arm is 4,100.
Okay.
And it can also there's a Gelco adapter in the back, so that can rotate and move in.
And this one?
ZV8 is 3,900. It's a wrong arm on it now. That would be a standard aluminum arm.
Right.
This is the titanium tube arm.
Oh, okay.
It's a knife edge bearing.
Oh, okay.
But on our knife edge bearing, we have 2 magnets that lock it into place, so she won't jump. So I can make it.
So
now, if I pull it up, she'll snap right back into the location because the 2 magnets are going to pull it down.
Cool.
So it's a steel a steel knife.
And where's that arm made?
Originally the original designer I worked with is Jeffrey Owen. I don't know if you know who he is.
No.
Does the Omega arm and stuff out of the UK.
Oh, the UK. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, sure.
So when we got started, I pretty much apprenticed with him to get it done.
All right, so you.
It took a couple of years, and he's quite strict. A couple of times he just let me do things knowing I was going to frig it up on purpose.
That's the best way to do it. Is that way you learn mistakes?
Because I've done CNC machining, so I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. And he said, no, you don't want to do that. I said, okay, I can do it. He said, yeah, go ahead, do it. And then frig up the geometry, and then 100 parts go down the drain. But
it's hard to make turntables, and it's hard to make arms. It's just hard.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a platter, it spins, it's easy for this stuff. So can you show me the bearing?
Yeah. I'll show you two different parts here. There's no oil or anything in these right now, just because it's a.
Oh, so it's a inverted ceramic ball there, right?
And there's a Teflon thrust plate inside.
Right.
It's a bronze, phosphor bronze, and then steel.
Very nice.
And then these are, we put an acrylic disc in, and then I tied it in with nylon screws and aluminum screws, and again, it's just a break up vibration.
Right.
And if you feel under the table, we machine notches into it. Again, it's just to break up like a standing wave. This is all aluminum. Now this is sandblasted. You know, some platters you can almost play them like a guitar because you got the lines in it, but I very, very fine sandblasted, then we anodized.
You know, in my world, less plinth is more plinth is better. So I bet you this one sounds really fantastic.
And we contoured the platter and stuff like that underneath.
And it's $3,900.
Yeah.
With the arm.
With the arm.
With not titanium one. But
right. It'd be with our standard arm. Actually, my favorite of all the arms is the standard arm. Everybody wants carbon, but my own preference for what I listen to is aluminum.
That's nice. I like that design a lot. You have a card?
Sure do.
You looking for an American importer at this point? Or?
I'm just setting up. I'm here to help the distributor, but we're trying to build the dealer network right now. This table, between you and I, this was originally designed by a Dane. And he had done the designs for me. He's a guy that back in the day did a lot of cool stuff. He's a famous guy doing it. But when he laid it out, he wasn't a turntable guy.
Yeah.
So I had to change a couple of pieces on it. And with any designer, as soon as you change something, they're not the happiest about it. But it has to be functional, right?
Yes, it has to work. It can look great, but if it doesn't work, it's not so good. Yeah, that's interesting. They're all interesting.
Okay.
Thank you, Will. And I'll get my card to you tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be floating around here, so.
Okay, I'll be floating too. All right, thanks so much.
Okay.
And we get them cleaned up.
Another machine.
This is the guy to talk to, Mike Fremer.
Mr. Fremer, I've been looking for this time.
Here I am.
My name's Steve Evans. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We are launching or bringing awareness to our record cleaning service. We are not selling equipment. We are providing a service so people who choose not to clean their own records, they can bring them to us, we clean them, and we get them better results, and they can get it in their home.
Okay, so you have a bunch of different cavitation machines.
Right, we start off by racking and protecting records. This sits outside of the label on the dead wax.
Right.
We rack them for easy handling so we can move them from station to station.
Right.
We start off with ultrasonic cleaning with detergents.
Right.
Then we drain and we move them over to an ultrasonic rinse with laboratory grade pure water.
Right.
Then we move them into our HEPA filtered warm air dryer to ensure that they come out perfectly dry. We put every record in a brand new sleeve with a date of service sticker on it.
Right.
And then we get them back to their owner.
Does it get scary if somebody sends you like a box of ultra collectible records? You got to handle them really carefully, right?
We handle every record with the same level of care, but do I sweat a little bit? Absolutely.
Yeah, there's always an oops. Eventually there's going to be an oops.
So before a show like this, we launched at some record swap meets.
Yeah.
And a guy had a highly collectible. He said it was worth $600, an early Jamaican pressing where there's only like 1,000 of them ever made.
Right.
He's like, "Can you clean this?" I'm like, dab the sweat off my forehead. I'm like, "Yeah, let's give it a go."
Yeah.
We did it, and he came back and he goes, "Would you grade this as an EX?" And I'm like, "I only play grade, but visually, absolutely."
Yeah.
I go, "If it plays as good as it looks?" He said, "Yeah, I would." He goes, "Great, it's now a $1,200 record."
That was worth it for him.
It was. But for records that need extra attention, we have a second process that we do.
So somebody who sends you a bunch of records and you find a few of them that are really beyond, they have like mold on them and
Right, so we can take an extra step.
Right.
So that was the ultra deep process that I just described to you.
Right.
The second is the archival process. We go through an enzyme soak. So I have a vat of water with enzymes that are kept at 90 degrees. We take this stack and we put it directly in that water and we let it soak for 15 minutes.
Wow.
That breaks up all the organic materials on the record.
Right.
Once we do that, we take it off the rack and we do an extremely thorough lab water rinse to get all the enzymes off.
On a VCS.
Yeah, this is a project. It really works well for us because when we take them out of they're wet on both sides.
Right, and there's nothing but the label part. I know. I just reviewed this on my website.
It's a nice little. It's a nice
great.
unit, isn't it?
It's not noisy either.
Right.
And it's metal. It's metal. It's not gonna crack.
And I've done probably 3,000 records with this unit alone in the last 6 months,
Wow.
and it's held up really well.
That's an endorsement. That's for sure.
So then we do that, and then we put it through the ultra deep process.
You got a good filtering system. You got a nice filtering system.
We actually have a 4-part filtering system. The first is we employ skimmers to take out all the floaters from the surface of the water. That drains down into our sump, which acts as a gravity filter. From our gravity filter, we go through a 0.3 micron filter, and then it comes back into the tank.
Wow.
The water is exchanged 4 times per batch of records. So we make sure there is no cross-contamination or redepositing of contaminants back on a record.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's the price for the service?
So for the ultra deep, it's $5 per record.
Right.
For the archival, it's $8 per record.
Right.
And we have local service markets in southeastern Wisconsin and Chicago area where we work with hi-fi shops for drop-off and pickup.
Right.
But then we also have Perfect Vinyl Forever by mail, and it's available on Amazon. Search for Perfect Vinyl Forever with quotes. And what we do is we send you
Sometimes I'll do it off of the cover.
a mailer.
This is a cool cover.
Because we want this to be as easy for you as possible. You receive this in the mail. We purpose-built it so we can cut down on shipping costs. You only send us the vinyl. You keep the sleeves. We will have either 16 or 32 new label or new inner sleeves. You package your records. They're protected with anti-static foam between each record.
If the records are dirty and you're putting it in that sleeve, you don't reuse that sleeve then.
We will either take compressed air and blow it out. If it's visibly dirty after that, we will toss it and use a new sleeve. Reassemble the box. We include a prepaid mailing label, and we include packaging tape. You give it to your postal worker, it comes to us, we turn it around and send it back to you, and you get happy.
And how do your customers respond to what your service?
Right now, this is our first platform on a national stage.
Right.
So,
but you have customers.
We have customers.
And so,
I have 600 records waiting for me when I get home.
And the people are happy with
yeah.
Some wealthy guys with a lot of money and a lot of records, they don't want to be doing this. They have better things to do with their time, so they'd rather send it to you and have you do it.
Absolutely.
And send it back clean records.
That is the value proposition.
Yeah.
But on top of that, we actually get results that is very difficult for you to achieve at home.
Sure.
The ultrasonic machines and the vacuum machines for home use, terrific. We're advocates for clean records.
Right.
We're just one other option.
We take it another step there.
Yeah, and we can take measures that wouldn't be feasible for people to do in their home.
Right.
So we have a filtration system that creates lab grade water on premise.
Right.
Our ultrasonics are about 2 to 3 times more focused than regular machines. We use hospital grade ultrasonics, which has a high density but lower intensity approach to them.
Can you get cavitation to go into all those grooves between those records?
Absolutely. We use 80 kilohertz ultrasonics. The spacing between the record is 1 inch. The wavelength at 80 kilohertz in water is about 0.78 of an inch.
Right.
So you get full coverage on every record on all levels of the ultrasonic bath.
You've done your math.
We've done a lot of math, a lot of testing, and a lot of research, and our results are really, really paying off. And we're growing outside of our native markets now, which are Milwaukee and Chicago,
right.
And we're now starting to build the mail order business.
Excellent. Well, good for you. I love hearing about it.
We're having a great time. You inspired the name.
I did.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Well, you know where it comes from, obviously.
Perfect sound for everything.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Matter of fact, you have a little hand in all of this, Mr. Fremer.
I do?
You do, because your writings back in the late 1990s and early 2000s inspired me to get back into vinyl, and my obsession grew to the point where I launched a company to make sure it's as good as possible.
Oh, good, excellent. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. It took me almost the entire day. On Friday, today's Friday, to cover this. This is an enormous hall. And this is just one space off to the side. So now let's try to do some more stuff. Okay, so now we're in the PS Audio room, and this is the Sprout 100, a complete integrated amplifier. And it's got Bluetooth, analog, digital, and vinyl. So analog means it's a line input for an analog source.
Yes.
Vinyl means you're plugging a turntable into it.
Correct.
And digital means you want to not have good sound. No, I'm sorry. Digital means it's got a USB or it's got a optical connector.
It actually has both. Yes, USB and optical, with USB taking precedence if they're both plugged in.
And I said that not having seen this product.
Sure.
And I'm the vinyl guy, so that was good that I figured that out.
It's good that you figured that out.
Okay.
And but the good thing is that over digital, if you're interested, you get all the way to the upgrade. It decodes DST, which is different from Sprout 1. Yep. So Sprout 1 was PCM full resolution. This would be PCM full resolution as well as DST over.
And how does the DST get into there through the USB?
USB over DOP. That's correct. Yep. And so a couple of differences you may have heard from Sprout 1, of course, and so this unit, Sprout 100, we named it so because it has 100 watts per channel, which is twice the output power. It has a full half-watt output on the headphone amplifier, and a couple of other great features. One, our customers really wanted a remote control with this unit, so sure enough, we added a beautiful little brushed aluminum remote control.
Cute.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
Not bad. And that is a real feature that people really, really need. And so we kind of listened to our customers and did what we thought was best.
And how the hell do you open this up and change the battery?
You can actually do it. It's use a little using a paper clip right here.
Oh,
yeah, and then yep, that's right. And then the whole membrane comes out, and there's a watch battery that you can put in.
Oh, cool.
However, this ships with a working battery completely.
Okay, and what does this cost?
The unit sells for $599.
Wow, that's great.
And $100 more than its predecessor Sprout 1.
Well, look what you're getting. You're getting a lot more.
You're getting quite a bit more. So
you get one of these, you get a couple of little ELAC speakers for $300, and then for $700 or $800, you're ready to put your source in there, and you're good to go.
Ready to rock, and you wouldn't. Your smartphone could serve as your source permanently if you switched over Bluetooth.
Yeah, Bluetooth, right?
Yep, that's what we're listening to now. And then just a couple other things. It also has a subwoofer output we were able to put onto it, which the old one didn't. It's pretty cool.
That's great.
And then as far as a preamp goes, the old one, if you remember, had little 3.5mm jacks on the back for the analog, but this guy has a lot more technology and a lot more space on the back.
Wow.
Yep, so we were able to get full RCA analog out and in. Okay, this right here is your chip antenna for Bluetooth. We've got optical and USB,
right?
And then all the way over here, vinyl, your subwoofer output, and your grounding.
These bananas? These bananas?
That's right. So the unit right here, the old one used to have twistable binding posts.
Right.
But gosh, they were kind of hard to get your fingers in there.
No kidding.
So what we did is we just put the banana sockets on there, and then each unit ships with 4 banana connectors as accessories that you can
tie over here and then just plug it. It's quite a bit easier.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you have a choice of wood veneers for the top part?
Actually, they all come standard with the walnut, which is our style. But we'd love to maybe someday make the units in black. I think that'd be kind
You
of
can get some any kind of contact paper, make it your own style.
Make it your own style. We get
You
that
can paint
request a lot. You can do, I think a nice ash would look pretty good on there, possibly.
I'm always good for a nice ash.
Yeah.
Did I say that? Sorry.